Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond. Thank you so much for showing up today. If this just popped up on your For You page, guaranteed there's a message here for you. If you're a returning guest, welcome. Happy to have you back. So, generally speaking, my messages are just channel messages that come through or spirit guided message that has come like through a meditation in the morning in which I'm to like deliver the message to you. So I'm a channeler. I channel light beings, angels from the angelic realms, my guides. I'm a medium, so I talk to loved ones from the other side. I'm an animal communicator. I work a lot in the spiritual realms to bring through messages for the greatest good. And that's always my intention, for the greatest good from the highest level consciousness. So I don't hang out in the field realms. So in saying that, I don't do a lot of like research into what other people are channeling or like what the common narrative is for things, because I feel like if I do that, I'm digging into different frequencies than the one in which I channel from. And there's no better or worse. It's just like trying to run a marathon in somebody else's shoes. Not saying that those shoes aren't great for that person to run a marathon in, but they fit, they're made, they meld to the person's foot in order to take them the distance. So that's very much like how I can describe the energy in which I channel from, because that energy is catered to my frequency, and therefore that's why I feel like if you're here, you resonate with the frequency in which I bring through and channel. And so that's why a lot of you might say it really feels like that message was directly for me. It's because it was. And that we are often driven towards receiving messages or taking part in an energy frequency for our greatest good. If there's something we need to hear that helps us in a direction we need to go, or a sign that we needed to hear in order to allow us to accept the help from our guidance team. Okay, so I'd like to just connect in to the highest level consciousness for the greatest good of everybody involved here, and to bring in and link in to the energy field of the viewers today to bring through messages for their highest and greatest good. Okay, so I really feel like there's a lot of you who are asking right now, why did this not work out? Okay, so there's a message in there saying, even if there was a lot of weight to put into something in particular that didn't necessarily manifest in the way in which you perceived it to be, the way that you wanted, or actually have more, like, spent a lot of time investing into a certain thing, and you're not getting the results. There's two big responses here. Group one, basically, you're not seeing the results because it's not quite right. In fact, that your perception of what you wanted to happen, and the visualization of what you wanted to happen, almost like you micro leveled your perception of what the greatest thing would be, and it's actually not the greatest thing. There's actually something that is far better aligned for you, and therefore the avenue in which you chose to put a lot of your effort in didn't work out because that wasn't your path. Not necessarily right or wrong, and you can take what you learned from it. So look at a lot of the energy and things that you put into this certain thing. Look at what some of those things that you might have ignored, maybe red flags, or even not even that much, but like old patterns that might have been overlooked because your perception of the end desire was too great. It's almost like you put too much into the end result, of what you perceived would be the end result in your best case scenario, but really you were overlooking some of the things that were actually red flags or not in alignment, or old patterns that you've decided on a soul level were no longer a part of your playbook anymore. Example, maybe you're going for a new home, or a new contract of some sort, okay? And it's like, oh my God, this is so great, because when this new contract goes through, then we get this and this and this, and this will bring this to me, and I'll be able to have this position, or I'll be able to live on this in this area, or whatever it might be. But what the little bits that you were overlooking might have been things that you actually have worked really hard to close karmic contracts with, or to old programming that it doesn't align with you anymore. They were actually a part of that. So it was giving you the opportunity to see it and be like, no, even though I feel comfortable, I really want this end result because it brings me safety or security, I'm overlooking some of the things that actually isn't in alignment. And that those things could be like, maybe it was on a busy road, or maybe the contract was that you only got you only got like 2 weeks off in a year or something like that, when part of what you're doing is being able to have more freedom in your lifetime. And you're like, oh, but the pay was really good. But what you're overlooking is your time and your freedom. And you think like, oh, that just goes with the industry, or that's just, a part of it. Or you're overlooking distance from somewhere that you really wanted to be, where your home was, and be like, oh, that actually took a lot of travel time, and I wasn't able to like get to my, I'm spending a lot of time on the road to and from work in my house, or travel, or commute. Or they're saying like the house really perceived this sense of like, oh, I've always wanted this, but what you're overlooking was a bunch of a financial burden, and the scarcity mindset, or being caught in the scarcity loop, is something that you're here to overcome. And so you're no longer taking on mortgages or rent or payment or something like that is beyond your means right now, right? And so you're not to be in that cycle or that loop anymore. A really loud noise just kicked in my space right now, so I'll be right back, because I want to have that erased, because that is a very strong sound. So just give me a second. Okay, we're back in a much more quiet environment. Okay. So that was the first message on kind of that song that comes to mind is a Garth Brooks song, like unanswered prayers. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. Okay, so that hit hard. I don't know. That could be specifically for somebody, or if you're hearing this and you're thinking that this message is really resonating, maybe look up that song, Garth Brooks, Unanswered Prayers. Okay. So the second message that's coming through is to trust in your body's response system. So, okay, this is interesting. Okay. So instead of thinking, I'm getting these physical responses, or I'm experiencing these physical pains, symptoms, whatever it might be, how can I fix that? They're saying, how can you look into your body and ask what your body or your system is trying to tell you, instead of trying to quiet it? Here, I know what it feels like when my system's trying to tell me something through a migraine, and I'm like, all I want is to fix the migraine. It's like, but what is the migraine telling you? It's telling me to take some painkillers. That's what the migraine's telling me. Like, I get that. So compassion here, and I'm not trying to be that all like, don't take any painkillers because your body is trying. Like, look, you got to do what you got to do. That's fine. I hold no judgment at all. But what they're really trying to say here in the guidance team is, they're like, get back to it, Lisa. Get back to it. Okay. What they're trying to tell me is that we are connecting into this higher level consciousness. And I've been talking about this, right? Heartbeat frequency out of head into heart. Well, when we do that, we drop into our bodies. We drop into the vessel in which is holding our souls. Our soul's sacred temple is our bodies. So I'll say that again. Our souls, which we are like our higher selves, our soul's sacred temple is our body. So when you think on a soul level and a sacred temple, you think of like, how can we make sure that we take care of, or that we maintain the integrity of, or like give a lot of gratitude and, take a lot of precautions when around it and taking care of it. Well, when we're talking about our soul's sacred temple, that's our body. Yet we're the hardest on ourselves. We're like, we forget that. But this is what your higher self, this is what your soul chose for you in this goal, for this really important part of what you're doing. So they're saying because we're in this consciousness of this heart-based consciousness, we have the ability to drop into our bodies and actually allow our bodies to tell us and communicate with us a lot more than when we were in the 3D thought process, when we were looking outside of ourselves for the answers. So this big message is about coming back into our bodies and allowing our bodies to tell us what we need to hear right now. And because our bodies are so loud right now, because it's in response to our environment, we don't have to look out and say, but what's going on? What's going on? Our body's telling us what we need to know. So, for example, if these massive solar flares are coming in and it's affecting our bodies by making us incredibly fatigued and maybe like headaches and achiness, instead of being like, okay, I need to get out and figure out why. I mean, that can be helpful. I mean, yeah. But really, what is it that headaches, fatigue, and drowsiness, all that is telling us? It's telling us that our body is receiving an incredible influx of energetic frequency from above and below, from the earth and the sun, all at once. So our frequency, our sacred temple, needs rest and lots of water. So drink lots of water, rest unapologetically, because that's your system. Your sacred temple is telling you what it needs. And while resting, and maybe after resting and taking some time, you can obviously look into being like, what is up right now? Oh, Schumann resonance, sunspots, this and this and this is happening, or cosmic, whatever it is that might resonate. The why behind it, yeah, that's important if that throws your hair back. But the most important part of this is, what is your body telling you versus trying to fix the symptoms of whatever is happening. So your sacred temple right now is going to be your number one communicator on what you need right now. And the practice is listening and unapologetically responding. Because by doing that, you let your system know, hey, I got you and I'm listening to you. You're the one that I put all the eggs in the basket of the sacred temple to let me know and get me through this life. So you're kind of the one I'm going to listen to, right? And if we're having a massive reaction like anxiety or fear, then be like, okay, what's happening? What is it? What are you trying to tell me? And if it's fear and anxiety, maybe that is in response to our environment. And it's saying, hey, I'm overloaded right now. I'm having I'm starting to shut down. My nervous system is like upstairs, like going crazy right now because I've overscheduled myself for work, because I was in fear state from scarcity, because my mortgage is due or something like that. Okay, so you can go to the whys, but the prominent part is what your body is telling you. Drop in, listen, respond to what's happening here, to allow you to be then in the place and the frequency and the ability to proceed in the fashion in which is in your greatest good. So by dropping into your body, going into your heart space, listening and responding in that actually keeps you in the balanced state of that higher consciousness, so that you can maintain the resonance. And I've talked about this for the last year. My guides have been saying, maintain your resonance. Maintain your resonance, the resonance in which you want to be in. So when you are doing them like a manifesting, right? You're like attracts like. I want to manifest this. Great. What resonance is what you want, like what you want in? Where is it resonating? So if it's resonating in the 5th dimension and you're wanting this freedom piece to be able to travel and all the things that go with it, you got to be able to get yourself into the same resonance so that you're hanging out in the same vibration. So like can attract like. But the same law of resonance means you have to maintain the resonance to continue the attraction. If all of a sudden you're here and you think, oh shit, I'm going to lose it because of fear. What about all this stuff? Where's my money going? Plonk out. There's the resonance over here and you're resonating down here according to all the fear, and you're attracting things that you don't want but actually are in energetic alignment. Okay, does that make sense? I know that seems like, yeah, Lisa, you've talked about this before, but this is a really powerful thing because our bodies are upgrading into a higher frequency. We're starting to resonate in a higher frequency, and our physical is the last thing to get there. So we're going through, our physical body is going through these ascension symptoms because our surroundings are bringing us there. And it can be painful. The transformation can be very painful. Our physical, beautiful, sacred temple is upgrading. And in order to do so, a lot of things have to change. And so you need to trust your sacred temple on what the response system that you need in order to maintain the resonance in which what you want to attract the things that you want that are in vibrational match. Okay? So take care of your body by listening, by dropping in, getting out of here and thinking what I should do, or the response system to try to like take care of the ouch, right? I mean, you can do what you need to do to be able to like reduce your stress levels enough to get your nervous system in the place where you're not constantly producing stress hormones and like inflammation. Inflammation is out of control right now, inflammation, because our bodies are in such stress. But if we're thinking outside of our bodies to like, what can I do? What's happening? What can I change in this? That doesn't go inside of ourselves in order to reduce the stress levels and decrease the inflammation. I'm not saying don't get help with the inflammation, because that's a very real thing, but it's a stress response. So it's our bodies telling us stuff, right? And sometimes I believe that we are led to not trust this, but to trust outside things of why, what can I do to shut it down kind of thing. I hope this makes sense. Okay. Any more messages, Spirit team? Okay, I do have a message from the other side. So this could be a loved one of yours. This might be really specific. This is like a collective reading, right? But there is someone's loved one coming through. It's a female. It does kind of feel like a feminine energy that's coming in, and she's bringing this like bouquet or like excessive amounts of these beautiful lavender flowers, these purple flowers that smell, and they're not actually lavender, but they look that they're lavender in color, I guess. But they're very scented. So I don't know if some of you have a specific symbolism that comes from a feminine energy or a loved one that comes through with that floral scent. It's really strong. It's really what they're saying, jasmine. So maybe the jasmine flower, the scented jasmine might have a message for you. So that's really specific, but it's coming through, so I thought I'd bring it through. So this is also the kind of like sense of being supported by this feminine energy, this like even if it's not somebody specific for you, it's like if you're feeling like you need a little bit of extra nurturing or nurturance in this transition, where during the process of transformation and the process of like dropping into your body and learning the ways of yourself, it can help when you feel safe and nurtured. So this is like a very nurturing energy, but it's very specific to this purple. Okay, so this is this purple energy, this purple flower, this very strong scent that's coming through. So maybe working with flower essence if that's something that resonates with you. And then the last message is using elements to be able to create sacred space for yourself to tune in. So they're saying a lot of you are working on your connection to spirit and your intuition and building your intuition. So if this is you, if you're like, okay, I'm looking at, building my mediumship skills, or even just like connecting with my guides, or like prayer or meditation, to be able to kind of transcend from head to heart, they're saying utilize the elements. So maybe get a candle, burning a candle using the flame, the fire element, and then having lots of water. So that's the second time water's come through. So drinking a lot of water, but also like maybe sitting, like salt baths for me is one of the number one ways for me to transcend energy and to ground in. So I sit in water to be able to like balance things out and then bring through channel easier and in a more balanced way. So water. And then air's a lot of time, like earth and air can go together. If you go outside and take a walk in the air, right? Breathing it in, feeling the wind on your face, and allowing that to like bring through the energy, bring through spirit through the energy, and then grounding your feet. Maybe if you live in a place where you can actually put your feet in the ground and absorb, but also ground in, like, so bringing the energy out through your feet, but then absorbing the beautiful energy of Mother Earth. Okay, so using the elements a lot more to be able to connect into spirit and to boost your intuition. And then the last thing they're saying, also connecting with animals. So animals lately, I've always been a huge animal person, obviously. Like, animals are just magnificent creatures. I can't even. But there's a lot of light workers or sensitive energetic souls who are really connecting in with animals right now, because animals are on a mission to help humans raise their consciousness, to raise their vibration, because animals actually resonate on a higher frequency. They don't hold the density of ego. They're here to help us. They are. And so animals are on they're extra right now. And so if animals are showing up, pets or animals in nature or whatever showing up, allow the message and the energy of the animal to come through, and it really does connect right into your heart space, and just receive it. Sometimes it's just a bird flying by that brings a frequency with it for you to be able to bring through. So they're showing me birds are big communicators, but like your furry pets. And if you don't have an animal, and I can't have an animal, I'm in a place that doesn't allow animals, volunteer somewhere. There's, the animals that are in shelters and stuff have a lot of messages about resiliency, about trust, about bringing through healing through their experience. That is their mission in this life, to have that energy of healing and like resiliency, and bringing that through to humanity. So with the intention of healing, you can really say, I open up to receiving from the animals some heart healing, some higher vibrational consciousness, and then like be with them, hold them. If you're allergic, maybe stand and then just like open your heart to the animal kingdom, the animal energy. Okay, so they're saying right now that's very strong right now with the ascension that's happening. So strong. Your animals are like, it's almost like they're showing me this, like the animals are looking around and they're like, are you ready, guys? You ready? Ready? It's our time now. Let's go. Ready? Break! Let's go! And like animals are coming out for us. So thank you to the animal kingdom. Thank you to everybody's guides and higher selves that showed up today and allowing me to receive any messages for the highest and greatest good of all. From my heart to yours, I truly deliver this with so much compassion and love. And if this resonated, I'd love to hear about it, how this messages have been received, a lot more than just words, but through energy as well. And if my work resonates with you, do not hesitate to reach out. My website's lisarichmond.ca. I have a lot of different offerings there. Just head on over and we'll get you booked in. Okay? I hope that this resonated. And again, I'm sending it to you with so much love. So take care out there. Peace.